right, what is up, guys? What is up? Happy Saturday. Almost said Thursday. Happy Saturday to everybody out there. And it feels good to be back. I know this is the first live stream since the demonetization from YouTube, which means I'm still going to be making content for you guys, regardless if we are monetized or not. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of minutes to get in the room. So this live stream is explaining the reasons why I chose Mexico as my place to retire, or my country to retire to, from the USA. And this, I'm doing it as a live stream just to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions if you guys want to also retire to Mexico as well. And with the reasonings that I will go through this video, you guys can ask questions along the way. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to Mexico. It can be any country around the world, Colombia, Thailand. I can look up all that information for you guys on the fly live. So this is a kind of like a Q&A. If you guys want to ask me anything about retiring to a different country, the easiest countries to migrate to or immigrate to, or what have you, because we're going to go through a few components here as to why Mexico is at least my number one pick to retire to in 2024 or beyond. I'll explain why in a few minutes. So I'll let you guys get in the room here. We got a couple of people already here. So the chats are open, man. So the chats will always appear here, and then any special chats will be highlighted right above my name. If you guys are not already following me on Instagram, and what are you doing? Go follow me on Instagram at Tripping with Jay with an extra Y at the end. And yeah, man, let's without further ado, I know you guys have been waiting for a minute for me to do a live stream, and I've been really eager to get this video out for a while because people think I am crazy for wanting to retire in Mexico. And I will go through 5 reasons and then an additional 1 or 2, like bonus ones, as to why I'm not crazy and why you're crazy for staying in the US, which is crazy. Okay, so reason number 1 is the cost of living. The cost of living in the US, if you guys haven't really been living in the US for a while or haven't visited the US for a long time, you may have noticed upon your visit back to the US that it has become substantially more expensive. So not only Uber rides are more expensive, groceries have become more expensive, gas has become more expensive, or petrol has become more expensive. Literally every aspect of life has become much more expensive. Insurance, taxes, everything. And the actual minimum wage has stayed the same since I think the 80s or the 70s. So we are really fighting really hard battle in the US as far as living for the normal person. So let's look at it here as a comparison. So this website is numbeo.com and is the cost of living between Mexico and the United States. So first we're going to do it as a totality, as a whole, so both countries as a whole, and then we're going to kind of tailor it to different cities in Mexico and the US, and we can do a comparison there as well. So let's look at the indices difference here. And it says the cost of living in the United States is 76.4% higher than in Mexico without rent. Cost of living including rent in the US is 100% or 100.9% higher than in Mexico. Rent prices in the US are 175.1% higher than in Mexico. What? Restaurant prices. This is a big one for me, man, because I love food and you guys know that. Restaurant prices in the US are 80.4% higher than in Mexico. What? Grocery prices. This is a huge one because I love cooking too when I have time. Grocery prices in the United States are 73.1% higher than in Mexico.
Bruh.
Local purchasing power in the US is 206% high. Well, it's positive, higher than in Mexico. So they actually break it down to different components here. They break it down to restaurants, markets, transportation, utilities, sports and leisure, childcare, clothing and shoes, rent, apartment pricing, salaries and finance. So this is a very detailed breakdown of the cost of living. And we can see that an inexpensive restaurant in Mexico is around $9.75. And I'm assuming this is for a single person. And then in the US, yeah, I can validate that. Yeah, it's 20 bucks, bro. It's about 20 bucks every time I go out, besides Chipotle. Meal for 2 people, mid-range restaurant, and a 3-course meal. In Mexico, it's 40 bucks. In the US, 70, that's almost double, bro. That's an 84.6% difference. And then the next one's even crazier, because I never go to McDonald's in Mexico, but I guess this is good knowledge. A McMeal. What the hell is a McMeal? At McDonald's or equivalent combo meal, $8.13 in Mexico compared to $11 in the US, which is a 35.4% difference. I want to move on to the important ones, right? Beer, a domestic beer, and I can validate this, guys. I can definitely validate this from multiple experiences from purchasing beer in both countries. A domestic beer, 1 pint, is $2.44 or 45 Mexican pesos. I've actually purchased beer cheaper than 45 pesos. I've actually purchased it for 40 pesos, which is right at $2. And here in the US, $6. And that's 146.1% increase. Holy. Imported beer. People don't really drink imported beer in Mexico, but hey, here goes. $4. Not even as expensive as the domestic beer at $6. And in the US, $7. Cool. Cappuccino, $3 in Mexico, $5 in the US. Not a huge difference there. Water is negligible, but it is important in Mexico because you cannot drink the tap water in Mexico. I don't know who even drinks tap water in the US, but bottled water, 90 cents, $2 in the US. Unless you go to Costco, you can get like a pack of 24 for like $3. And groceries in the US are absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys have been to the US or not. We got Mr. London Boy for life in the building, man. I know, bro. It's been a while, man. I've been trying to really, like, it's been a little stressful being demonetized, man. But I'm fighting the good fight to come back. September is when I can reapply for AdSense and get my channel remonetized. So that's a good thing. And good to see you, bro. You moving to Mexico? It's a very high likelihood, man. It's a very, very high likelihood. And I'm going over the reasons why here. And the first thing I'm talking about, bro, is just the cost of living. The cost of living is just so expensive here in the US. If I can get a remote job that I can make US dollars in and then move to Mexico and spend those dollars or spend my dollars and convert them to pesos, it's going to be extremely affordable. And I can save a lot more money and have a lot more disposable income in Mexico. So let's go to groceries, man. So I didn't know this, but milk is actually more expensive in Mexico than it is in the US. And let's see, let's go to the larger ones. Damn, rice is expensive rice is expensive in the US. 1 pound, 77 cents per pound. Let's go to the more oranges. Oranges are 75 cents per pound. That's insane. I would be eating oranges every single day. And then it's $2 in the US. Not bad. Let's see. Water, negligible. Cigarettes, I don't smoke, but that statistic is there for you guys. Transportation is a huge portion because I have not driven a vehicle in Mexico yet, so I still take Ubers and Didis all the time, and they do add up over time, but like taking them one by one, they're rather inexpensive. So a one-way ticket, local transport, 65 cents. So they're talking about like taking a bus, right? Taking the public transportation, and 250 in the U.S. I believe that's what the kind of like the average is because they're doing the entire country, so it's kind of hard to kind of nail it down to like every city until we go a little bit further. Taxi, I don't know too many people that take taxis in either country. It's literally Uber, Lyft, and Didi in both, so I'm not sure. And Mr. London Boy for Life says, I was thinking of moving to Colombia or Brazil. Bro, those are really good spots to think about as well. I would honestly visit those places before you think about moving there, because there may be certain aspects of the government or how the country operates that you may not be a huge fan of, and that actually may inhibit your living in that particular country. So I would say visit there before and kind of get a lay of the land so you can actually figure out if you want to live there for an extended period of time. So yeah, Colombia for sure, and Brazil, the cost of living is very, very it's on par with Mexico, if not a little bit cheaper, just based on their currencies and the exchange rates. But let's see, gas, man, that's cap.
Stop the cap.
That's cap. Gas is definitely cheaper in Mexico. I can guarantee you that. It's about $3 per gallon, and what is that in liters? I don't know how much that is in liters, but that's cap. I don't know where they got that from. I can verify. I was just there last weekend. Let's see, utilities. Woo, bro, utilities. Electricity in Mexico is expensive, and when I tell you it's expensive, it's extremely expensive because they still burn fossil fuels for their electricity source, and you have to pay for your electricity bill for every 2 months. So that's a culture shock to a lot of Americans that move to Mexico, is that we're so used to getting the monthly electricity bills here in the US, but when you move down to Mexico, you get the electricity bill every 2 months, and then that's like I mean, the way that it works out in math is like it's 2x what you're used to getting every month here in the US, and it's a shock. Like it'll be like $150 for 1 month in the US, and then you get a bill in Mexico, it's like $300, $350. You're like, holy. But that's just how it breaks down to with the math, and it's extremely expensive for electricity in Mexico. So this is cap here. Definitely the internet in Mexico is a lot cheaper than it is in the US, and it's faster. In some cases, it's faster than you get here in the US, and you pay more, which is ridiculous. I think the US should have some of the fastest internet speeds in the world, but I think that goes to Japan or Korea. Let's see, sports. The monthly fee for one adult, bro, it's not $35. I don't think it's anywhere near that. I think it's probably near like a Planet Fitness level, around like $10 a month, and you actually get a really, really nice fitness club. I think SmartFit is probably one of the most well known. Let's you know what? Let's actually check, man. SmartFit. Let's actually check what their they have plans right there, because I'm curious too. So black plan, the fit plan, the smart plan. So what is 299 pesos? Let's see, 299 Mexican pesos. And I'm breaking all of this stuff now, man. This is crazy. What other YouTuber does that? $16. So $16 USD to get the base plan at SmartFit. And let's see what the next level is. $399. $20, $21. So I would assume this is 25 or 25 or 30. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. And it's still cheaper than a lot of the plans that you get here in the US. Let's see, a cinema. Who still calls it a cinema? The movies. in an international release. Yes, this is one area that I love to do in Mexico, is to go see movies for a change, because they're actually affordable. $4.88. And that is just for the movie ticket. And even the concessions, bro, the concessions cost, like the popcorn, the soda, the candy. They even have like actual like hot food that they can deliver to your seat if you get like the Cinepolis, or I forgot what the other major movie chain is in Mexico. But $4 for a basic movie compared to $14 in the US. And then the concessions are extremely expensive, which will lead you to kind of sneak in your own snacks. I condone that. I fully support that in the US. But in Mexico, you can just pay a few bucks and you can actually get popcorn, a soda, some candy, and it not be over like $4 or $5. So that's insane. Like I love going to the movies, especially when it's hot outside as well. Childcare, I don't have anything to really worry about right now as far as childcare. But for you guys that are interested, monthly, full day, private, monthly for one child in Mexico, $247 compared to the US, $1,382. What? That is a difference of 458.2%. What? That is insane. That's insane, bro. That's probably the largest difference on this entire list. And this is averaging the entire country. I didn't even know how expensive that was for 1 month for one child. Bro, you can almost have 5 kids in Mexico compared to 1 kid in the US. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. And this is a huge reason why I want to move to Mexico. And I'm breaking it down. The cost of living, man, is much more affordable. International primary school yearly for one child, $5,000, $5,000. And this is like private school, international for your child, compared to $22,000. That is someone's salary, bro. That's someone's salary after taxes in the US. So you're literally paying $22,000 for private school in the US. That's ridiculous, bro. Okay, a pair of Levi's. It's more expensive in Mexico. I don't really count these, man, because they're all important. Rent, important, very important. Rent in the US as a whole, if you live in a major city, is skyrocketing and is out of freaking control. I'm very grateful to have purchased my home and have a steady mortgage every single month since 2017. But for my people that are renting and my people that are renters right now, I feel for you. I feel like my heart goes out to you guys, because I know that rent prices in the US are absolutely ridiculous right now. And I get it. I'm a real estate agent out here, so I get it. 1 bedroom in the city center, like literally in the city center, like downtown pretty much. In Mexico, $656 for a 1 bedroom per month. In the US, $1,802, bro. And then once you're outside of the city center, $450 USD compared to $1,488. That's insanity, bro. Oh my gosh. Yo, 3 bedrooms? You better get 2 roommates, man. You better get 2 roommates in the US. In Mexico, 3 bedrooms. It's $1,200, and it's cheaper than a 1 bedroom outside of the city center in the US. And in the US, it's $3,000. That is ridiculous. What? And then outside of the city center, 3 bedrooms, $852 for 3 bedrooms outside of the city? That's a W right there. That's a win. And then in the US, almost 2,500, bro. That's crazy. And I think that's it. So the average monthly net salary for a Mexican is $723. That's averaging the entire country. So that's like averaging people that like don't make much, and then they're averaging the top as well. So I don't think that's super accurate. But in the US, that's about it. That's about it, about 4K. And that's after taxes. So let me see, do we have any questions? No questions yet, but we got a couple people watching still. Let's compare. So a major city in Mexico is for sure Mexico City. And let's compare that with Los Angeles, which is one of the major cities here in the US. Oh my gosh. You guys are seeing me struggle right now. Right there. You guys ready? I don't know if this is working. Okay, this thing is loading right now. Oh boy. Oh boy, look at this. God, jeez. Yo, a meal in an inexpensive restaurant in Mexico City is $10. I can verify that. $10, not that bad. LA, it's damn near double. $24. $24, bro. A meal for 2 people, mid-range restaurant, 3-course. $54. In LA, $120. Listen, dating, taking someone out and dating in the US, period, has become substantially more expensive. And yeah, I'm not taking you out unless you are worth it. $120 at a mid-range restaurant. That's ridiculous, bro. $120, man. Would y'all spend $120 for somebody else that may or may not be interested in you in the US? Nah, stay single, bro. It's cheaper to be single. Let me go to the rent. The rent is what I really want to look at. Holy, damn, that's 3x for utilities. Holy. Let's see, rent. Rent is great. Yeah. 1 bedroom in city center, like downtown LA or West Hollywood, almost $2,500 US. And in Mexico City, you're looking at almost 1,000. Which Mexico City, if you guys haven't been there, is pretty lit, man. So I guess about $1,000 for a 1 bedroom is not bad. And then once you get a little bit out of the city center in Mexico City, $613. That's what my rent was in Las Vegas 10 years ago. That's what my rent was 10 years ago for a 1 bedroom. That's ridiculous. And in LA, it's still over 2K. And yeah, 3 bedrooms is just, okay, 2K, that's fine. That's still cheaper than a 1 bedroom outside of LA. Then, bro, you're looking at $4,800 in the city center. That's ridiculous. Okay, enough of that. We beat that to death. Okay. So the next reason why I want to move to Mexico is the climate. So if we look at the climate for a lot of cities here in Mexico, I want to make sure you guys can see that. Let's see. I don't know if that's better for you guys. Besides that hurricane that they got like a week ago. You guys can see. This is all in Fahrenheit, obviously. It's not that hot in Celsius, okay? So the weather is really nice. We have a couple of cities that may border the U.S., like Mexicali and Juarez, that are in the high 80s, low 90s, which still isn't that bad as far as like the 85 here. Tijuana is at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Overall, if you're not at like peak summer season, the weather in Mexico is really nice, man. You'll never see any snow. You'll never really be cold. But in places like Mexico City, for instance, and I'm going to reference Mexico City a lot, possibly Guadalajara as well. Mexico City gets all 4 seasons. So they do get pretty cold. However, it's not going to be cold enough that you're going to see snow. right? But it's still a really, really nice city to be in, Mexico City and Guadalajara. Those are my two picks, at least in the central portion of the country. But then you get to the Yucatan Peninsula. Let me say that correctly, right? You get Cancun, you get Playa del Carmen, you get Merida. Those places have a heat that you have to feel for yourself. It is extremely humid in those particular parts of the country, and if you are very sensitive to heat, you may want to stay away from like the Yucatan Peninsula, because those cities or that part of the country is known to be extremely hot and humid, and sometimes it can be kind of unbearable. It's humidity comparable to Miami. So if you've been to Miami and you think that's unbearable, you're not going to have a really good time in the peak summer months in the Yucatan Peninsula. You may want to look elsewhere, maybe like Mexico City, Guadalajara. Those places get hot, but they don't get like unbearably hot where you can't even go outside. And I think that's it for the weather, man. Like the weather is definitely a big reason as well. And you get the great cost of living on top of that. So that's 2 W's for Mexico so far. And reason number 3, the culture. So the culture in these places are just amazing, right? So the Mexican people, they're just really, really, hopefully I don't get copywritten on my own video, right? But that's playing in the background. But the Mexican people are so kind, so helpful to a foreigner like myself and their own people. I haven't been treated like this nicely in a foreign country or even my own damn country in a very, very long time. And it's shocking to me whenever I go to Mexico, I get treated very, very well. And it's not because I'm a foreigner. Like I can speak Spanish. That's probably why, right? But the people of Mexico, they're just so nice and welcoming. I'll go to like a random bar, right? Or a random nightclub, and random people would invite me to their table to have a beer or have a drink with them. And you just become friends with these people and bonding over a freaking beer, like these random people. And they end up being like really, really good friends at the end. So you guys really have to go out there and visit and experience this for yourself, because I tell you, once you get like a taste and experience that is something that you haven't really been through before or experienced, when you go out, you're going to be like, wow. You're going to compare that to the experiences that you had in your own home country, and you're going to be like, wow, I really got to get my butt back to Mexico. I really had a great time there. The people were nice. The drinks were cheap. The weather was great. And the people were nice. Come on, man. It's a W all around. Okay, let's move on, man. This is a really, really important part of why I want to retire in Mexico, because eventually I'm going to get old. Everybody gets old, right? It comes for everybody, right? Everybody gets old. It's healthcare. Healthcare in Mexico is far superior, in my opinion, than how things work here in the US. So let me explain before I kind of read this here. Mexico has 2 systems for the most part. They have a public and a private healthcare system. The public healthcare system is what like citizens and legal residents they can get, and then private is when you pay a premium, and then everything else is free after that, like in treatments and medications and things. And I am a temporary resident and I qualify for this here, but I'm actually going to pay for private healthcare insurance because I don't want to be a part of overwhelming the public healthcare system, since I wasn't technically born there. I'd rather just pay to get a better treatment. But let's go through this. So the healthcare system in Mexico, let me make sure I can make this a little bit larger for you guys to see, and I'm not blocking it. Charles in the building. This is powerful indeed. Yeah, man. You never know like what type of information that may help someone make a decision like this, because relocating to a different country that's foreign to you it's extremely difficult for some people, and they're just scared because they don't have the necessary information to make an educated decision. So hopefully this helps somebody, because I already knew this stuff. I'm putting it out there on the internet for people to actually absorb and kind of make their own informed decisions. So let's go through this a little bit. It starts off with healthcare costs average at least 50% lower in Mexico compared to the US, period. So Mexico's healthcare is less expensive and an easier system to navigate. The US system is absolute garbage. I can tell you that when I speak to my friends that live in Mexico, that live in Europe, or live in Asia, that have relocated, or actually are like from there, I tell them that, like, hey, I have a deductible or a copay. They're like, what's a deductible? What's a copay? Because of how their systems work, they live in countries that have universal healthcare. And of course, their taxes are a little bit higher. But when they need something to get done, like treatments or medications, it's either free or low cost. But you come here to the US, you're required to pay healthcare insurance. You're required by law to have healthcare insurance, whether that's picked through like Obamacare or through your work. You're required to have healthcare. You get penalized on your taxes if you don't. And once you pay your premium through your job or what have you, you need treatment done. When the treatment's done, they bill a portion of the cost of the treatment to your insurance, and you have to pay a set percentage based on which healthcare plan that you pick. So you can honestly, if you get like something minor done, it could cost retail $3,000, and they bill $2,000 to your insurance, and you pay $1,000 out of pocket, which is known as a copay or a deductible. And when my friends hear about this, they're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Then why? It's like you're paying twice. And I'm like, wait a minute. Other countries operate differently? It is right here. All the info that you need for medical insurance is right here. In Mexico, is 50% cheaper than in the US, and the system is easier to navigate. And people will tell you that Mexico is a third world country. I'm like, no, it's not, bro. In some ways, their country actually works more efficient than the US. And this is an example right here. So, damn, long waits to see a doctor or a dentist are rare. That is very prevalent here in the US, I can tell you that. Results from tests are often given directly to the patient on the same day, and many medications are sold over the counter, with made in Mexico drugs costing less than half the price of their US equivalents. Anyone can see a doctor or dentist in Mexico or be admitted to a hospital, though you'll be expected to pay for the services in full at the time that you receive the care, unless the hospital or clinic already has an agreement from your insurer. All cities and mid-sized towns have at least one full-service hospital, and some clinics, even small towns, will have a clinic or two. Yeah, this is ridiculous, man. This is insane. All right. Mexico's healthcare system offers two primary choices, IMSS and INSABI. And the IMSS system is a part of the National Social Security System. It was designed for employees, though expats who are either temporary or permanent legal residents can also apply, which is me. You may be getting your application online or by visiting an office, fine. And their premiums, $63 to $93. Not bad at all. That is not bad to have like full healthcare coverage. Let's see. Okay, so the IMSS is the private insurance. So the free INSABI healthcare plan was established for people with pre-existing conditions and those who are not able to participate in the IMSS for financial reasons, thereby ensuring medical coverage for all legal residents. We need this system here in the US because I can guarantee there are people that can't afford healthcare insurance here in the US. But I digress. Insabi accepts anyone not enrolled in IMSS and provides care for the unemployed and chronically ill. As in the case with IMSS, expats who hold either permanent or temporary residency may seek treatment. Yes. There's no need to sign up in advance for the Insabi plan. Show up to any Insabi hospital and present your residence card, your CURP, and a compromante, a utility bill or other proof of your address in Mexico. I gotta get me one of those. That's the only thing I'm missing. Yeah, man. You can see here. You can see here. They even have a comparison. For example, I recently had a surgery on my knee, which cost $2,200. In the US, the same surgery would have cost me around $18,000. What? Bro, that's a 9x increase. That's ridiculous for the same surgery. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Let's see. All right, so they give you a lot of resources here. So yeah, you guys can see another reason why I want to retire in Mexico, because they're gonna take care of me, man, and I'm not gonna be paying crazy high prices for it at all. Okay, the last and final reason, officially, is the natural beauty of the country, man. The natural beauty of the country, man. Mexico's a beautiful freaking country. There's so many cities. There's so many cities in Mexico that are absolutely beautiful. You have Cabo, you have all the vacation spots, right? So you have Playa del Carmen, Cancun, Merida, Cabo, San Lucas. Not a lot of expats really go to Guadalajara, but Guadalajara, Mexico City, you have Oaxaca, you have all of these different places that you can travel, and the country is so diverse. So if you want like super hot, humid weather that you love being by the beach, you have that option. And if you love very temperate climates, they have places that have like an eternal spring, is what they call like a couple of cities. And you don't even need AC or air conditioning in those parts of the country. Yeah, if you want literally almost any climate or any landscape, Mexico can offer that to you. And that combined with the low cost of living, the beautiful people, the healthcare cost. Yeah, I think Acapulco. Yeah, that's another good place as well, man. And all of these things combined, like Mexico's just destroying the US on. And every day I wake up and I'm in the US, I'm like, I gotta get to Mexico. I don't want to be in the US anymore. And I really think deeply, like, is the American dream dead? Is the American dream dead? Because I take a really macro look at things. So I take a step back and I look at the US in its totality. It is still one of the greatest countries on earth to live in. However, it just may not be for me. So I will work really hard here in the US and spend my US dollars in Mexico. But just know that I have a lot of plans to retire in Mexico, and I gave you guys 5 legitimate reasons with the proper research and evidence as to why Mexico is a great place to retire in. And another good reason as well is the proximity to the USA. So if you are from the US and you live in Mexico and you have to take care of some business in the US, whether it's going to see family or a loved one, or to, attend a meeting at your work office that's like once or twice a year, going back to the US from Mexico is extremely easy. It's either 1, maybe 2 flights to even reach US soil, but you get there rather quickly. You can get there in 6 or 7 hours. on average if you have to connect somewhere. But if you don't have to connect somewhere, it's 2 to 3 hours, easy. And you really can't say that for other destinations like Colombia, Brazil, or Thailand. That's going to be like a whole day ordeal to get back to the US, and then you have to fly back, which is doubling that commute time. So Mexico has that going for it as well. Along with, I don't think a lot of people really mention this in their YouTube videos, but they use the same electrical voltage as they do in the US. So if you like use like clippers or anything like that to like groom yourself and you have to plug it in, I messed up when I went to Peru. I took my my clippers with me to Peru, and they had the same plug as they do in the US, kind of, sorta. And they had like the European / US plugs, and I plugged it in, and my clippers run on 120 volts. But in Peru, it's in the southern hemisphere, they run on 220 volts. So the clippers weren't able to, I guess, adjust to the voltage, and it just started going crazy, right? But all of your other electronics should be fine in other countries with the same plug, or if you use a converter. But in Mexico, you don't need any of that stuff either. So that's just another plus for Mexico. And yeah, that's it, guys. You got any questions for me so far, man? I know we got a couple of folks in here, but yeah, Mexico is the obvious choice. And in a lot of cases too, a bonus reason is that if you're not a permanent resident, you can buy a tip or a TIP to bring your vehicle down to Mexico legally. So I actually plan to do that as well. But that's gonna be it, man. And I'm glad you guys were able to join me. We almost went an entire hour. And yeah, I got a few more ideas that I think you guys would kind of benefit from, at least the knowledge. And don't think that just because we're demonetized, I'm stopping making content here. But that's it, guys. Expect a vlog coming up in about a week or two for Guadalajara. It's going to be having some nice surprises for you guys, to say the least. But thank you guys for tuning in. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you guys can support the channel. Excuse me. You guys can support the channel with the links down in the description box below. I may be demonetized, but you're still able to donate to the channel and use my Amazon affiliate links as well to also support the channel until your boy gets back monetized in September, Lord willing. But my name is Jay, guys. You've been tripping with Jay. Thank you, Charles. It's good to be back, bro. I miss being live with you guys, hanging out with you guys. So yeah, it's good to be back. And I'm not going anywhere, man. I may not be posting super consistently like I used to with the reaction videos because those are easier to make, but the vlogs will be lit when they do get posted. I promise you that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Jay. You've been tripping with Jay. And I just showed you guys 5, 6, 7, or 8 reasons why I am retiring in Mexico and why you should consider that as well. All right, guys, have a good Saturday. Peace.